All right, good morning. I think I should be the right side up or the right way, coming up the right way on your phones and smart TVs and things like that. Okay, so I want everybody that is awake right now to get up and to share this post. Anybody that is awake, I'm gonna even wait for a few viewers to hop on the live before I go into this. I want anybody that's awake to share this post. What time is it? It's 5:57, like 6 o'clock in the morning. So anybody that's awake, share this post. Actually, I'm not gonna wait for people to get on the live because it's early in the morning. But anybody that sees this or watches this retroactively, please share this post. So this is what I want to do. I want to do two things. I want to explain to you what we have been doing here for the last 5 days, and then I want to explain to you what happened here about 2 hours ago. Okay, so for the last 5 days, we have been involved in an ongoing teaching at Say Their Name Square, where every day the activists that are part of the occupation and community members in Rockford have come out to Say Their Name Square outside of City Hall, 425 East State Street, and we've read a different piece of literature around police terrorism and mass incarceration. So the first day that we were out here, we read The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander, which speaks about mass incarceration. The second day we was out here, we read The End of Policing, which speaks about police terrorism and some of the militarization of the police department and some of the things with the police. Then we read They Can't Kill Us All on the third day by Wesley Lowry, which speaks about Ferguson and some of the uprisings that took place in America around that time. And then yesterday we finished reading, we were reading a Sada autobiography. And so this morning, we began reading Locking Up Our Own by James Foreman Jr. Out right here, I Say Their Name Square, outside of City Hall. And around 4 o'clock in the morning, the Rockford Police Department came to the place that we were reading at with upwards to 8 police cars with, I believe, at least 8 to 10 police officers again, to the place where we have been reading literature. This is what we have been out here actively doing. We are out here reading books. They came out here to where we have been reading books at, where community members have been coming and listening. Community members have been coming and participating. We've been trying to encourage more community members to come out and participate. They came to the place where we're reading about the exact type of things that they're doing. They came down here with multiple officers with intimidation tactics. They started taking things. This is not the first time that they have done this. They came out here. It is a regular occurrence for them to come out here and take items the same way that they came today, taking blankets, hand warmers, food, books. Think about that. These police officers are watching everything that we're doing. They're seeing the things that we're out here trying to speak to the community and preach to the community, and they're coming out here taking books, confiscating books. Think about that. Think about that. That gives you reminders of Hitler's Germany. Tom McNamara is running a police department that are doing tactics that they did in Hitler's Germany. They've taken multiple books from being outside of this occupation. And then again, at 4 o'clock in the morning, not in the middle of the day, on a busy day, they come at 4 o'clock in the morning, mind you, not only on Easter, the night after Easter Sunday, but also the night after Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, and they come down here and they use intimidation tactics and Gestapo tactics while people are out here reading books. Think about that. Out here reading books. They're using intimidation tactics while people are reading literature and reading books and trying to educate the community on these issues. And so while in the midst of being down here at 4 o'clock in the morning, confiscating and taking things like they've done before, one of the officers, which I think was the officer who was in charge, I guess that taking blankets and hand warmers and food and books is not enough for these people. And so he decided that he was going to start ripping down the memorials. Here, let me see. I want to show these people this. He decided him and his officers was going to start ripping down the memorials at Say Their Name Square. Ripping down the memorials, cutting the faces, purposely cutting the faces as he was tearing these things down. Purposefully cutting the faces, looking back at me while he was tearing these things down, doing everything but saying nigger. doing everything but looking at me and saying nigger while he was taking these things down. Then he sent some of his boys out around to go and take some signs down too. Sent some of his black officers, some of his house boys to go and take some signs down too. And we got to start doing the job as a black community of raising our children better and not allowing our children to fall into these institutions and become oppressive and exploitative of their own people. We got to start doing a better job of that. Stop raising your children to be police officers. This is what the police officers in this city doing. Coming down here and tearing up these names, ripping up these faces of people, memorials for people. That's what they spending their time doing. They sent 10 plus police officers out here. Why they having parading people out here talking about crime statistics, telling you about murder rates, telling you about violent crimes and violent shootings, and out here talking to you about domestic violence and how they working in the Justice Peace Center to try to fix things. Meanwhile, they deploying 10 plus officers at 4 o'clock in the morning to come down here and rip up memorials and take books and steal books and try to steal blankets and steal food. Think about that. Think about that. And so that's why, as a community, we have to show power. That's why, as a community, we cannot allow these things to happen and go unchecked. That's why, as a community, we cannot allow these things to allow ourselves to put our head in the sand while these things happen because they snowball. Today they coming out here taking down the memorials. Today they come out here and take down the memorials and take blankets and take books. And next thing you know, they'll be kicking down your door, taking you and all your black children into concentration camps. That's how things like this start. These police officers and these elected officials are nervous and scared of the way that the climate and things are changing in this country, and it strikes fear into them. The small little things that we try to attempt to change, the small little things that we've tried to attempt to alterate, the small little equity that we've attempted to try to get, the small little justice we've attempted to try to get, it has driven them to the point where they're showing their true colors. The same police officers that ripped these things down and come down here and take blankets and take books is the same type of men that stormed in the Capitol and tried to do that insurrection. The same type of men. The same type of men. So you keep putting your head down, sending your kids to schools named after slaveholders and named after racist white men. Don't be surprised one day when you look up and black people is out here in 2030 or 2040, and the way that they live is similar to the way that the Jewish people was living in Germany in the Holocaust in the 1940s. If you allow it to happen. If you allow it to happen. Stop going to church and praising all of these things and praising compassion and praising doing unto others and praising being the good Samaritan, and then going out into the real life, into this real world, and putting your head down while injustices are being done by power structures, while injustices are being done by people who are supposed to be in the position of protecting and serving. You open up those Bibles and you see how just about every one of those books, the person who is the main protagonist is dealing with an oppressive power structure that they are trying to upend. Is dealing with an oppressive and exploitative society that they are trying to upend. So you start practicing the things that you out there preaching. We need preachers to start practicing the things that they out there speaking on them pulpits on Sunday. You call the mayor, you call your local officials, you call these people running for aldermen, and you ask them what's the reason that these memorials must constantly be taken down and that they got to send 10 plus officers out here to do it? What's the reason that they out here stealing blankets? What's the reason that they out here coming stealing books? Think about that. Think about the implications of police officers coming down here using intimidation tactics and stealing items while people reading something called the end of policing. What you think that's for? Share this post. If you watching this, share this post. Share this live. You share this live. You tag your mayor. It ain't my mayor. You tag your mayor. You tag your alderman. It ain't my alderman. You tag your alderman. They don't represent me because somebody representing me don't allow things like this to go unchecked. Don't allow Gestapo police officers to use tactics that look like they straight out the 20th century. In the middle of the night, 4 o'clock in the morning, like cowards, they come in here tearing down memorials. They come in here using intimidation and Gestapo tactics. They come in here trying to issue out citations and trying to make up false crimes and false allegations with 10 plus officers, like we out here selling crack, like we out here with a bunch of guns shipped up. So stop telling yourself that these officers is heroes. Stop with that blue lives matter and that thin blue line. This is what these police officers in this city doing. They lynching niggas and they trying to erase every memory or every piece of notation that say that they ever existed. You cannot allow yourself to slip into complacency. On Monday, I want you to look on your Facebook post. Every time you see somebody speak about this trial that's going on in Minneapolis tomorrow, you tag them in this video and you show them what's going on in Rockford right now. You go to the May 30th Alliance page and you show them what these police officers in this city been doing for the past 10 months. You show them how these political leaders and these communities leaders and these pastors and these priests have been quiet and have been complicit in it. That's what you do. Don't shed no crocodile tears watching that George Floyd trial if you ain't shedding crocodile tears for Mark Barmore and Jovan Fresco and Eddie Patterson. You ask yourself, what is the reason that 10 plus police officers is coming down to City Hall in the middle of the night, confiscating blankets, food, and books? And books. You ask yourself that. You share this post. If you up and you see this, even if you ain't got time to watch the whole thing, you share this post. Send people to the May 30th Alliance page. Y'all go see the work that we out here trying to do on that page. Y'all come out here and join us in this spring. Y'all come out here and join us in the summer. These is the tactics that they using. These is the tactics that they using. Ain't nobody looting no stores. Ain't nobody burning no stores. Ain't nobody assaulting nobody. Ain't nobody battering nobody. Ain't nobody doing none of those things. Ain't no businesses losing no money. None of that. All of those little things that people been trying to use as excuses or reasons for these Gestapo police tactics, none of them exist now when they still coming down here ripping down memorials. You know how passive a memorial is? That's maybe the most passive protest that you can do is make a memorial for somebody who has been slain, and they won't even let that happen. Stop parading your black asses in them meetings with them. Stop parading your black asses at them press conferences with them. Stop thinking that these conversations and these dialogues is going to equate to tangible gains. They won't even let black people have memorials up. They won't even let us have blankets and books out here. We exercise the rights that people were slain for. Martin Luther King Jr., the anniversary of his death was just on Sunday. And the same things that he was out here fighting for, the same things he was murdered for, we still out here being persecuted for and being prosecuted for right now. Ain't nothing changed. And this city is a microcosm of all the issues of this nation. This city, not another city, not a different city. This city right here, Rockford, Illinois in 2021. Not Birmingham, Alabama, not Selma, Alabama, not somewhere in the backwaters of Mississippi or somewhere in Louisiana. Right here in the Midwest of Rockford, Illinois, these police officers are using Gestapo tactics straight out of Hitler's playbook. Trying to suppress knowledge, trying to suppress organization. Stop sitting at home and allowing these things to happen right in front of you. Stop. I want anybody that's black right now, I want you to ask that you spent these next 24 hours and you ask yourself, if somebody came to you on the plantation and said, we got a place to escape to and a route to escape, are you staying on that plantation or are you leaving? This is the route to escape. 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 That's why they coming down here and using these tactics and confiscating these things and trying to put fear into people, because we have the route to escape and they want you locked into the places that you at because they benefit off of that. Because this system is built off of you being complacent. Because this system is built off of you being like, well, it ain't happening to me, so I'm okay with it. Because this system is built off of you saying, I want to stay away from it so it don't touch me. Because this system is built off of you saying, better them than me. But one day the shoe will be on the other foot, whether it's now or the next generation or 2 or 3 generations forward. One day the shoe will be on the other foot as long as you are out here black in this nation, as long as you are out here impoverished in this nation, as long as you are a woman in this nation, as long as you are LGBTQ plus in this nation, you will still have to deal with the oppressive nature of it. And trying to get a business is not going to let you escape from it. Capitalism will not defeat racism. It will not. If it could, Jay-Z would have pulled every black person out of the ghettos and out of poverty. If it could, Kanye West would have pulled every black person out of the ghettos and out of poverty. If it could, LeBron James, Chris Paul, Michael Jordan would have pulled all black people out of poverty and out of ghettos. But individuals cannot break this system off of buying into it from capitalism or buying into it from having a lot of money. It don't matter how many shots Fred got in this city, they'll still pepper spray children right down there at City Market. They'll still come across the street and confiscate books about black liberation. They'll let you have that. They'll let us have stores in the mall. They'll let you have a couple of restaurants where you serving soul food. They will let you have that. You got to pay taxes on that. They will let you have it. What they won't let you have is memories of the people that they have lynched. What they will not let you have is memories of your brothers and sisters that they have torn out of this existence for no reason. For no reason. None of these people dying made this city a safer place or a better place, or make this world or this nation a better place or a safer place. None of them. Share this video. That's what I want you to do. You up right now, you awake, you share this video. Somebody want context into why I'm talking like this? 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay, let me do it one more time. For the past 5 days, we have been outside of City Hall, the place that we have entitled Say Their Name Square, having an ongoing teach-in. For every 24 hours, we read a different piece of literature about police terrorism and mass incarceration. Excuse me. And then we have conversations about how we can organize, mobilize, and solve these issues and rid ourselves of this oppressive system. So on day number 1, we read The New Jim Crow. On day number 2, we read The End of Policing. On day number 3, we read They Can't Kill Us All. On day number 4, we read Asada, an autobiography. And now here we are, day number 5, and where we are reading Locking Up Our Own by James Foreman Jr. At 4 o'clock in the morning, just about, what time is it right now? 6:14. At 4 o'clock in the morning, just about 2.5 hours ago, 8 plus police officers from the Rockford Police Department came down to City Hall. Excuse me, let this car go by. Came down to City Hall, Say Their Name Square, where we have been conducting these teach-ins, where somebody was in the midst of reading this book, Locking Up Our Own, and they came with multiple officers, multiple cars. They started seizing items, throwing these items into the car. When someone tried to claim possession of some of the items, they denied them access to those items back. And I want you people to put this in context too. This is not the first time that this has happened. So this is multiple times. So now this is what the list looks like of things that they've come down here and taken. Blankets, hand warmers, food, electronics, books. Think about that. I want people to really, for a second, let that sit in for you. These are the things that they came down here and took. We have baskets with memorials of people who were slain with stuffed animals and candles and flowers in them. They came down here and they took that. They ain't even been there for 48 hours. They came and they took those things to add to the books that they take, to add to the hand warmers and the blankets that they take. Okay, no arrest made because nothing illegal was going on. They doing these things as intimidation tactics to try to deploy these things, to try to deter us from doing what we doing, and to try to deter people from the outside from coming in hopes that they'll be too fearful. So that's what they did, and that's what they did this morning. They came in a 4 o'clock in the morning raid. If we would have had doors on it, it would have been just like in the Fred Hampton movie where they came in busting the doors down. It would have been just like what happened to Breonna Taylor when they came in busting the doors down. And you let yourself think that it's something different. different. You go ahead and let yourself think that. So in the midst of them doing these things at 4 o'clock in the morning, it's videos of this too, with multiple cops, multiple officers, 4 in the morning while they telling you about crime statistics. One of the officers who must have been having a bad day, I don't know, maybe his wife is cheating on him, maybe his children is dealing with some type of issues in schooling. I don't know. I'm trying to empathize with this man, try to understand what it is that's going on in this man's head that led to the things that he did next. So while these things are being taken, he looks over at me and he makes some little smart remark, and then he goes over to where the memorials is at, specifically, and I don't hope, trigger warning, specifically to Demetrius Bennett's memorial, and he goes and he cuts the face and he starts ripping the memorials down. And while he's ripping the memorial down, cutting the face, tearing it off, he looked over at me, and he might as well have looked at me in the eyes and said, nigger. He might as well have done it. And I don't care how nobody feel about it. I'm telling you what it is. I was there. And then he proceeded to send some more of his dogs out, to rip. And I'm gonna call it like what it is. I'm gonna call a spade a spade. They sent some more of his dogs out to rip down the memorials of these black men who have been slain by the Rockford Police Department or died in custody of the Winnebago County Jail or was killed by the Metro Enforcement Agency. Went and ripped them down. Sent them to go rip them down 4 or 5 in the morning. 10 plus police officers they deployed to do this, to rip this down. That's what they deploying their police officers for. Ripping down memorials, stealing blankets and books. Stealing blankets and books. They want to get rid of any memories you got of liberation, and they want to get rid of any concepts that you got of liberation. And so, if you are somebody who is a vendor, and I want you to, if people share this video, you share this video, I'm going to keep on talking, I'm going to keep on going. You share this video, after you share this video, after you watch this one, you go to the May 30th Alliance Facebook page, you follow that Facebook page, and you keep up with what we doing. So this is what I want people to know. If you own a food truck, if you are any type of a vendor, and you are planning to be at City Market, I want you to know we will be at City Market. We will be at City Market. And I don't care if it's 5 people right now here reading, if it's 8 people right now here reading, I promise you, on May 21st at that first City Market, we gonna be deep. It's gonna be people. It's gonna be people. And I want people to understand something. I want people to have context for these things, because I don't want people to be out here trying to change narratives and shift narratives based on the tone of my voice or based on the passion in the things that I'm saying. I want people to know something. We don't hate anybody. We do not hate anybody. We love our own people so much that when we see people doing wrong things to them and when we see injustices done to them, we go out there with passion to fight against those things, and it make people feel as if it's hatred. But that's love. That's love that I got for my brothers and my sisters and for the families of these peoples whose memorials were torn down. This is not hatred of police officers or a hatred of white people or a hatred of America. I don't got time or the energy for that. This is love for my people. This is love for my people. This is love for the people that look like me, who have been through the struggle that I've been through. And so that's what we need. I want people to share this video. I want people to share this video, and I want people to understand exactly what's going on. There has been no tearing, no burning since May 30th. Since May 30th, there has been no burning of buildings. There has been no breaking into buildings. There has been no looting of businesses. There has been none of those things. But yet and still, there have been more arrests since those things happened than the day that those things happened. Yet and still, there has been more assaults and more traumatizations to people in this community since those things happened than when those things happened. And because these officers are trying to make sure that the next time when they get caught on camera killing somebody, or when that video of Tyrus Jones being shot in the back releases, they want to make sure that the community has been lulled into being lethargic, that the community has been scared, has been intimidated into being fearful, and that they do not fight back, and that they do not uprise, and that they do not rebel against the duplicitous nature of this state-sanctioned violence that we receive on a daily basis. Evictions are state-sanctioned violence. Crimes against the unhoused folks is state-sanctioned violence. Busting in people's doors with no-knock warrants is state-sanctioned violence. They arresting y'all kids up in them public schools, doing lockdowns up in them public schools, traumatizing them children. That is state-sanctioned violence. Them coming down here, tearing down these memorials is state-sanctioned violence. Them coming down here and confiscating books and confiscating literature is state-sanctioned violence. And as long as we continue to be complicit and to not speak out on state sanctioned violence, we are condoning it. Your tax dollars go to them coming down here and taking books. Your tax dollars go to them coming down here and ripping down memorials. Your tax dollars come to them coming down here and issuing citations for people protesting. Your tax dollars go to those things. And these officers, 80% of them, majority of them, live outside of Rockford, live outside of this city. So you paying taxes for them to come down here and do dirty work, and then they paying taxes in a whole nother city. A whole nother city. That's being bamboozled. Stop allowing these things to happen. Stop allowing these things to happen. Stop allowing them to pit us against each other and bring up black on black violence or bring up gang violence. I want to tell you something right now. They can put people on the moon. They can send people to Iraq. They can send people to Afghanistan. They can send people to Vietnam. They can send people to Germany and to Australia and all these other places in the world. If you think they couldn't have stopped these black communities from being infested with violence and drugs and gangs, you are out of your damn mind. They allowed those things to happen. They purposely did those things to happen. This country knew that it could make money off of crime, and it shifted that crime into black neighborhoods purposefully. Purposely. It is not no accident that your cousin is in a gang. It is not no accident that your brother feel like he need a gun to protect his life. It is not no accident that your sister feel like she got to sell her body to be worth something. It is not no accident that your father was killed out here in these streets. Those things are done purposely, systematically, and systemically. And as long as we allow those things to be used as inhibitors or hindrances for us to get liberation, we will continue to be in this cycle. We will continue to be in this cycle. No, tomorrow we are not going to stop every black male from having a violent act against another black male. But you know what else not going to stop tomorrow? White males having violent acts against white males. Asian males having violent acts against Asian males. Hispanic males having violent acts against Hispanic males. So we cannot allow things that we know will naturally happen to be inhibitors to us trying to get liberation, to us trying to get justice. I promise you this. I promise you this, we get these Gestapo police officers to stop over policing these communities, to start diverting them funds that they spend on intimidation tactics and locking our brothers and sisters and our folks and our community members away in prisons, and start shifting those monies to community programs, start shifting those money to paying these teachers more so that these teachers feel more of a reason to teach our children the right way. I promise you that the inner city community violence will go down. You educate, you find somebody who care about these children and care about their education. I promise you, you will see teen violence go down. You start investing in these communities and investing in the things that they see every day when they walking back and forth. I promise you that violence will go down. You start investing into their mental health, into their psychological health, into their emotional health with real programs, with real people who care, and I promise you that you will see the violence go down. And none of those things can happen because the amount of money that these Gestapo police officers get. Thousands of dollars somebody got to tear this down. Thousands of dollars somebody getting to take these books and take these blankets and take these hand warmers and lock up black women and assault black people and assault young folks that's out here trying to stand up for something. They get paid thousands. Not no pennies on the dollar or no dimes on the dollar. They getting paid thousands. They getting paid more than you was getting paid to risk your life serving people food at grocery stores or serving people food at restaurants. They getting double, triple that to rip down memorials at 4 a.m. And so you ask yourself, what type of a society is that? You ask yourself, what type of a society is that? What type of a city is that? What type of a culture is that? What type of a community is that? And is that the type of thing you want to be complicit with? Or is today going to be the day that you start finding a way to liberate the people that look like you? Or is today going to be the day that you start finding a way to liberate the people that go through similar issues that you go through? Because we're not going to be able to do any of this individually. Nobody's going to be able to do this alone. No organization is going to be able to do this alone. No generation is going to be able to do this alone. We are going to have to do this collectively. And in the midst of doing this collectively, we are have to go and get to an understanding that some people feel the need to deny no matter how many times it is put into their face. And it is that these police officers mean black people no good. It is that these police officers mean poor people no good. It is that these police officers mean people who have different political agendas than what the white power structure in this nation has no good. We have to accept those things. For 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 100 years, these police officers have been beating people in the streets, have been murdering people in the streets, and it has happened without any consequences. And if you continue to let these things go on, you will wake up one morning and these police officers who tore down these memorials will be dragging your black ass into a concentration camp. We outside.